Welcome everybody to the City of Joliet Council meeting. We're here in the council chambers. It's Tuesday, March 18th, 2025, here at 6:31. Welcome everybody. We have the Honorable Mayor Terry Darcy presiding this meeting. Thank you. We have the invocation being done by Deacon Carl Hebner from Cathedral of St. Raymond's, 406 North Rayner Avenue, followed by the pledge of our flag. Thank you.
This is a reading from the St. Paul's letter to the Colossians. Whatever you do, work at it with your whole being. Do it for the Lord rather than for men, since you know full well you will receive an inheritance from him as your reward. The just man shall blossom like the lily. He shall flourish forever in the courts of the Lord. And let us pray. Lord, we pray for peace, peace in our world, peace in our country, peace in our hearts. God bless all of the citizens of Joliet. God bless all of our police officers, firefighters. Bless the men and women in the military. Lord, bless the members of this city council, that they will make good decisions, decisions that are fair and just for all in governing our city. We thank you, Lord, for our freedom in this beautiful country that we call home. God bless America. And now, let us please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Carol, thank you.
We'll begin with roll call. Mayor Darcy?
Here.
Councilman Cardenas is absent. He did let me know he would not be in attendance this evening. Councilman Clement?
Here.
Councilman Guerrero?
Here.
Councilman Hug?
Here.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Here.
Councilman Mudrin?
Here.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Here.
Councilwoman Verdin?
Here.
Approval of agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as written with the following change? Remove council memo number 207-25, resolution to deny transfer of Class B liquor license at 926 Gardner Street, Tony Bar and Grill from the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is citizens to be heard on agenda items. Is there anyone who would like to speak on an agenda item this evening? Okay.
Before we start talking about agenda items, you guys are here for the Prairie Landing. Okay, so now is the time. Anybody else that wants to speak about Prairie Landing, please line up after these ladies. The mayor has to recuse himself out of abundance of caution, and I don't want him to have to get up and down and up and down. So speak now. Thank you.
Maria Lack again. And the same question again, because I didn't get the answer yesterday. And I believe that I have the right people who finally someone will answer. If here is my property and there is their property, and I'm in court over the adverse possession of this piece of the property, can the plan be approved for that development if piece of the property is in court? Can city approve the plan since the owner, not the
Not the developer.
not the developer,
But the property owner.
the property owner. He just likes to play game. They are willing to work around it as developers, but he plays the game. And I'm not supposed to afford to finish the game. And I will play the game with them because by them saying to my lawyer that that's gonna cost me fortune, me and my girls can do the fortune. 35 years, I took care of that whole strip of land. I planted trees on it, and just because he's rich and powerful, it's supposed to cost me a fortune. And I don't care. Right now, I wanna go to trial, and I won't let it go. If I have to go to the highest court, I will. So how can the development be approved if this piece of land, it's still in court, and we don't know whose is it?
It's the strip where the trees are located, the current trees. She has pictures. And what the developer is saying that they're not
Not
going to.
developer.
Well, no, let me finish, okay? Developer is saying that they're not going to remove any of the trees, the existing trees, okay? Which is wonderful, okay? But she has no guarantee that they won't be removed. And she has pictures to show that there's like a double line of 30-year-old pines for the privacy. And that strip alongside of her property and the property where the development is going to happen, that strip is in court for adverse possession for her. So I guess her question is, how can the development be approved if that is not settled?
Todd, can you weigh in on behalf of the city, please?
Yeah.
I don't believe that lawsuit has anything to do with what's in front of you. So yes, it can be approved.
Okay.
And let me,
I was
Dustin,
talking
because you're real familiar, and so I should, my understanding too, the strip of land that you are now contesting between the two of you in court is not part of the development. It's not part of their design, they don't own it. And whatever comes out of your lawsuit, whether you end up owning it,
No, it's part of their development.
Yeah, part of it is.
Yes, yes. He just, he is very cooperative. He sent me the development plan. And part of it is in there. They
well, let's
show
get a
me.
clarification, I have a different understanding, we'll get a clarification. The strip of land that is in court right now, you know, which you have nothing to do with, your company, is that part of your development? If you could.
Sorry.
Hi, good evening. So just for the sake of clarification, again, my name is Steve Bauer. I'm an attorney and entitlements manager with D.R. Horton. The land area that Ms. Leck is referring to is, so again, bearing in mind that D.R. Horton has no involvement in the suit, my understanding is that the land area that Ms. Leck is litigating with the current property owner is the area that's shown on the survey that she is in possession of, and that area has been excluded from the land area that D.R. Horton is under contract to purchase for development of the Prairie Landing project.
Because it's in litigation.
Correct.
Is that where all the trees are?
So
Yeah.
earlier this evening, Ms. Black and I were speaking, and my understanding is that she's concerned about some additional trees to the west of the specific land area that I understand to be at issue with this adverse possession suit. Those trees, if I'm understanding correctly, are on the Prairie Landing property that would be the subject of development. And as a result, some of those trees would be removed. I provided, in the spirit of transparency, I provided Ms. Leck with the latest landscape plan that depicts those trees that would be preserved as well as those trees that would be added.
So there has been a deal worked out then to keep those trees? Yes? Is that what you're telling me?
Go ahead.
So I can't obviously speak for her.
No, I'm not saying that you're speaking for, I'm asking you. Is that what
You're looking
is
at
that
me?
what we think it to be?
I do not believe that all of the trees that she's concerned with are preserved,
Okay.
but I can tell you definitively that at least some of those trees are preserved. But obviously, she'd have to answer that question more specifically.
Mr. Bauer,
Yes, sir.
how many trees are you gonna plan on planting there on that property?
I'm not in a position to answer that. I mean,
Okay.
I'm sure it's hundreds.
Okay.
Just by virtue of parkway trees alone, excluding trees that will be planted on outlots, like for example, the property that will ultimately be conveyed to the Park District, which is adjacent to Ms. Leck's property.
Thank you.
See, just to make it clear, if I'm understanding this correctly, I'm a friend of.
Are you now speaking on behalf, we have to start the clock again. There are rules of decorum, and we're in a real meeting here.
Okay, so,
Start the clock. You have 4,
plan,
you can't approach the council, ma'am. I'm sorry. Can you talk behind the podium?
I'm sorry, I
Mary,
didn't
you
make
gotta
the
talk
the
here.
big sign.
Right here.
So, on this plan, there is maybe 4 trees. 4 trees from the middle of my yard to the end of the street. That's how my end of the street looks like. That's why we don't see the dealership. When you pull in Gulfview Drive, and in the summer, those are different colors, bushes, that looks like botanical garden. Nobody paid me for that. That's how I fix the end of the street. Okay? And that's how it looks from their farm, that land. That's all the trees next to my house. And you don't see anything empty here, like 4 or 5 trees. There is at least 20, 30, 40 trees. They were planted close. That's how they look now. I didn't spend the money on creating something beautiful. That's what I believe. And if they say they plant the trees, I know how they plant the trees. Those are the trees. And see my trees. You go to those new neighborhoods and they look cold and naked. And this is the whole side. You pull to the Gulfview, you see the end of the street, and everything this way, all you see is those beautiful pines. And if they say they leave the trees, they will have association. That new area will have association. And since my daughter lives in Plainfield with association, I know what they do. They will come
Say something?
and cut those trees. Just like they remove beautiful gazebo and put some meadow structure next to my daughter. Association people, there is a bunch of people get the ideas. And, you know, they know somebody who's got the new project, of course money goes behind it, and they build it. They build ugly things. They cut whatever they want, they do. Association, they don't protect. They destroy nice things. And I'm seeing this every year in my daughter's
I want
area.
to say something. As far as the adverse possession goes, that strip of land, the back part of it, the developer has excluded it. But the front, they have not excluded from what I'm understanding, okay? So not all of the adverse possession property, they are excluding. I mean, maybe I'm wrong in that, but I don't think so, okay? So that's, where the question lies, okay? That if that's still in court.
Okay. They excluding this.
Towards the end, towards the back of her house.
Where is the go view? Okay. They excluding this and rest of it to the go view, they don't exclude.
So it's just the back portion.
That's why on this drawing, there is only a few trees. By the go view, by the way that I enter my house, the whole right side is just beautiful, tall, green wall.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you, ladies.
Your collective time is over. Thank you.
Todd, can you wait in for people that are listening and everybody watching from
That
home?
lawsuit, the city is not a part of that lawsuit.
Right.
There is no order preventing us from going forward on this. So yes, you can approve it if that's what you wish.
Thank you.
My concern was just there was something that we could compromise with, not us, but the owner and the, constituent, to save her trees, because I know how it
Right.
is.
And I think that the developer's committed to that. We just can't opine on the private litigation she has going on
Yeah, I
with
know.
the current owner, so
I just
really,
want that
that's,
for the record. I would
yeah,
hope that
and
they
it's
would
not,
save the
it's
trees
not
and
part
take
of what
out
you're
things.
considering tonight.
I hope that they would come to some type of compromise with her.
Okay, so that is the last comment then for that item before we
Well,
bring.
let me ask a question then.
Okay,
before you-
I just-
right, 'cause
yeah, I just
the
wanna
mayor-
make sure.
Right. So, but the only question I have is, the claim that was made there that the part that's in court, only part of it's been excluded, is that true? If we could ask the lawyer representing.
So again, Councilman Hug, bear in mind that Pierre Horton is not involved in the litigation that we're discussing now, so as a consequence, I don't have the details that
Right.
you're ultimately asking. But again, based on a limited conversation that Ms. Leck and I had just prior to this meeting this evening, I am now of the understanding, as she just relayed to you, that there's apparently some additional land area, which I understand to be west of the area that I've always understood to be the exclusive adverse possession land area. That, as I understand it, again, just minutes before this meeting this evening, is the area that I understand she's concerned with regard to tree removal. At the end of the day, keep in mind that D.R. Horton or any developer doesn't have any desire to remove more trees that are necessary. It's costly to remove trees, and there's no benefit to removing trees that, and expending associated funds that don't need to be removed. So to the extent trees can be preserved, rest assured that we will absolutely do that. To the extent that trees need to be removed as a consequence of either conflict with proposed improvements or otherwise grading activity, we're obligated by city ordinance to either replace those or pay into a tree bank fund in accordance with the city's unified tree preservation ordinance.
Yeah, I know there were some drainage issues out there as well, so I don't know if that would be contributing to that.
Mr. Bauer,
Yes, sir.
again, you're not going to take down trees unless you have to. And you're going to replace hundreds of trees on the property.
Agreed. Correct.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good evening. I heard that the Tony's Bar and Grill was being removed from the agenda tonight, right? Will that be replaced, or will there be able to be comment on that when it's placed back onto the agenda?
It's not an item on the agenda tonight,
Great.
so now would not be the appropriate time. I mean, since you're here, if you'd like to give your testimony, you can.
I'm just asking, will it be put back on the agenda and at that time? When,
We haven't set a date for it yet.
Right, we haven't set the date for it yet.
But you'll be notified again.
Yeah.
It'll be posted.
Yes.
See, I've been here before for Millsdale Road, I'm back here again. But this is like I said, this is a common issue that keeps going on, it doesn't stop, it's 7 days a week. A friend of mine, he stopped at my house not too long ago. When he left, got on 53, there was a bus in the left lane there. Somebody turned right in front of that bus and he was surprised that guy didn't flip that school bus. You know, it's a constant battle with this Millsdale Road and what goes on there. I mean, the truck traffic is starting to get bad. I've seen them come through the neighborhood. I mean, I've seen people cut through people's yards. I mean, it's a nightmare out there. And it's just, I know I keep coming here and complaining about it, but like I said, the ultimate thing would be is to close that road down so they don't go down there, because it's like it's terrible. I mean, I just hate to see one day somebody gets hurt really bad, or a little kid gets hit or something by some of these people. Because like the other day I was there, everybody was stopping, and then all of a sudden one guy out of the bunch just flies around everybody and goes right through the intersection. I just don't understand why people want to do that. But basically, I want to come down here. I haven't been here in a while. Just kind of remind people that that road hasn't changed. I know they had somebody out there some time ago, and it did help, but once all that goes away, it all starts up again. But another thing is when the trains go through, that's when you get all the peace and quiet, because you know, that stops everything. But once the train's gone, it all starts up again. But like I said, I just wanted to come there. I haven't been here in a while. I just wanted to stop in and kind of remind people that nothing has changed out there. It's still the same, and it probably won't until something major gets done out there with that road. Like I said, I just dread the day that you hear something bad happens there. So, yeah.
What was your name, sir, please?
My name's Joe, and the last name's Jenkins.
Jenkins, did you say?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. And that's pretty much about it. I just wanted to stop it and kind of remind that road, it's just as bad as it was the last time I was here. So, thanks.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor. Beth, we own the road, correct? City? Millsdale?
Correct.
Can we not put an island there so nobody can turn down there like a semi?
We will be, however, we currently have we're being sued by HRE Partners about Millsdale. The mayor and I have been negotiating for months. Every time we're close to a deal, you know, something else comes up. So we're still in ongoing litigation and conversation. But that is our end goal, is to put a turnaround there, so we don't have to. But moving forward, we're just still working on it.
Thank you.
Mayor, can I say something, since we're all just speaking at the wrong time? So the police department was out there for 48 hours and wrote almost 70 tickets out there the last time. So we're doing everything we can. I don't think we can have people out there 24 hours a day. Yeah, and they're trying to do something about it, and every time they get close, it's cut off. But thank you. Thank you.
We have a good solution. We're just trying to get through this litigation.
Yeah, I just wanted to stop in because I talked to Susanna not too long ago. You know, she was just asking how things are going. It hasn't changed.
It'll ultimately be,
Trying to make changes.
it'll be what you need. I can let you know that.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone else who would like to speak on agenda items? This is public comment for agenda items. Okay. Next is appointments. The mayor is recommending Jesse Stiff to be appointed to the Zoning Board of Appeals. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
Mayor, I do have a question, if you don't mind. I have noticed that, with no disrespect to Mr. Stiff whatsoever, but I do notice that there are zoning board people that are on there and they do not know the zoning laws. Sometimes they don't even look at the property, And I think if there's some way that we could give them a short, like a crash course in Robert's Rules of Order and just touch on the most important zoning laws that we have, and then if they're stuck, maybe some staff could help them through that. Because there's some things that go through with, sometimes, I'm not blaming them, but it's just because it seems that they don't know enough about our zoning laws.
We can do that.
That, I would appreciate that if we could do that.
Anyone else? Thank you.
It's been motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Navarro?
Aye.
Councilman Mudron?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council committee reports. We'll start with diversity and community relations.
The Diversity and Community Relations Committee met here. Well, actually, no, we met in the executive conference room yesterday, Monday, March 17th at 4:30 p.m. On the committee, and in attendance was myself, Councilman Clement, and Councilwoman Ibarra. It was a short agenda. The only thing that we really had for yesterday was a presentation on the consolidated plan for the 2025 through 2029 consolidated plan and the program year for 2025 annual action plan. We had that presentation here in the council chambers yesterday, so I won't go into too much repetition. Just kind of highlights here. We're in the process of drafting that 5-year consolidated plan, as well as our annual action plan for 2025. Just very briefly, the community development initiatives need to meet at least one national objective, and that is to either benefit low to moderate income people or areas, meet an urgent community need, or otherwise assist in the removal of urban blight. Just looking at the timeline for this year's action plan, on March 31st, the applications will be open. Those will be closing on April 28th. Between April 29th and May 9th, we will be, city staff will be evaluating and scoring those submissions with a public hearing to be held in June, and ideally to bring that before the council for approval and submission to HUD in July meeting. We are also want to let everybody know that before the applications are open, we will be hosting a workshop here in the council chambers on Wednesday, March 26th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. We invite any interested applicants to come in, get a sense of what the application process looks like, what are some of the criteria that we'll be judging applications on, and we do have an updated rubric, which was I can share with any of you if you'd like. It's also included in the agenda packet. I think credits to Jackie for streamlining that process, making the rubric much more straightforward, linear, and just overall kind of making the process more efficient. So again, any of our interested partners, community organizations, anybody who's interested in applying for CDBG funds, we invite you to come out March 26th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. here in the council chambers. So, Councilman Clement, Councilwoman Ibarra.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, just very briefly, the federal government is giving the city of Joliet $919,000. We want, the three of us wanted to make sure that every organization had the information. They had plenty of time to put their application in. We could help them through the process. And that's what we were trying to do, is make sure that everybody was aware of it, so nobody was left out. Right?
Right.
Yeah, good job.
Us three on this committee were definitely committed to making sure some things changed about CBDG this year. And so with it being a new plan, we decided to really push to the limits, and Jackie Lozado definitely rose to the occasion. You won't be penalized if you're a smaller nonprofit. You're actually incentivized, and a lot of the things that we asked for to give it more of a grassroots feel and to have more of the smaller nonprofits be more eligible for this, including the training session that we asked for. Jackie Lozado is very, very committed to one-on-one meetings. She's going to do everything she can possibly do within the limits of the law to give you any help you need for this. So I think I'm very proud of this committee. Councilman Clement, Councilman Guerrero, great job. And great job, Jackie, because you gave us everything we asked for. Thank you.
And with that, Mayor, that would be our report.
Thank you.
Next, we have Finance.
Finance Committee met here in Chambers at 5:30 this evening. On the committee is Councilwoman Sherry Reardon, Councilman Larry Hugg, and myself. The items that were approved have moved all onto the official agenda for tonight. We are involved in the electrical supply auction. We the city, have about 115 accounts. Our current contract runs through April 30th. We will be bidding that out in terms from 1 to 3 years. The decision is an open market, and the availability for these is only for 24 hours, so the staff will make a immediate decision and move ahead with that. We have 3 IEPA loans on the agenda also. One for $60 million on water replacement at a rate of 1.87 for 30 years. A second one for almost $3.6 million. This is from lead line replacement at a rate of 0 for 30 years, and just over $3 million in principal. We're asking for forgiveness. The final item is $100 million of improvement to Lake Michigan water, all on tonight's agenda. On a budget measure, unspent funds from 2024 need to be moved to the 25 fiscal year. That'll be on the agenda also. Monthly financial statements, we're only into the year for 2 months, and all funds are performing as expected. We also reviewed the annual collector's report, which needs to be done every year on the monies received here in the city. And the Joliet Museum gave us their quarter report for December through February. Joliet Black History exhibit had nearly a little over 100 plus visitors, and they viewed more than 100 artifacts. That would be my report, unless one of you two would like to add anything to it.
Thank you.
Okay, we have Public Service.
Public Service met here yesterday at 4:30 in the council chambers. On the committee and in attendance was Councilwoman Reardon, Councilman Mudrin, and myself. There are several items that don't need an explanation here, because also on the Finance Committee is Councilwoman Reardon, Councilman Mudrin, and myself. And there were some items that were already briefly explained by Councilman Mudrin that were also on our public service agenda. There were 10 contracts we looked at. I won't go through all of them. Most of them were what you consider smaller contracts. Traffic material, signal material purchases to have to improve and repair traffic signals. The 2 biggest ones was a sewer lift station at Lowest Place for $950,000 roughly, and that would be the cost of the lift station construction, and the engineering would be $94,000, which is in line with around 10% of the total cost for engineering of the project. And we have 50, I think it is, sewer lift stations throughout the city, and some of them are aging, and there was an inventory done on the 50, and the top 10 most in need of repair, renovation, or replacement were picked, and this is one of them. So we looked at the bid on this, and we approved it. In fact, all 10 items, contracts were looked at, and all of them were unanimously sent forward by the committee to this council with a recommendation to approve. Then we had a $7.9 million project, and that's a contract for the Heggie Park Phase 1 Water Main Improvement Project, which would go to PT Fair Construction through the bidding process. Again, we looked at it and found it to be in order. That's of course our ongoing project of citywide water improvements, water main improvements, as we get ready over the next several years to build and change over to the Chicago Supplied Water. We had 4 change orders, pay estimates, and final payments. Again, they were routine. We had a phase 1 engineering for the Theodore Street over Rock Run Creek improvement. It was a net deduction of $13,000 and a final payment of $2,900 roughly. Again, we looked at all of these. The 2 larger ones was a change order to the Collins Street Water Main Improvement Project, which was started back in '23 and finished up. It was a net deduction of $523,000 with a final payment closing up the project of just over $1 million, $1,024,000. The other one that was larger on the pay estimates, change orders, and final payments was a amendment for the professional services agreement for the 2026 Water Main Rehabilitation Program. This would be for detailed design services and would go to Baxter Woodman Incorporated for $1.3 million. This is for a project that's estimated, this is the city-only improvements, the ones that we have to make with our own, not the Water Commission's larger system, just the city's water as we head towards lowering our water loss. And that would be engineering in regards to estimated $60.5 million project, which makes it at about a 3% cost on this engineering for the total project. Under ordinance and resolutions, like I said, there was 3 of them that were already discussed by Councilman Mudrin. Nothing to write home. We looked at write home about, housekeeping items such as declaring certain older cars, city property as surplus, formally accepting as part of our water rehabilitation the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency low interest loans. Approving not the loan itself yet, but the fact that we can accept the loan. Once we accept the loan, we'll determine how much of that loan we'll take with, a top-end limit being applied. Again, we looked at all 21 of the items. They're all in order. There was really no lengthy discussion or no disagreement. We all found them to be, through vetting, to be in order and approved all 21 to be sent forward with unanimous approval from the committee to the council for approval. I think I covered everything. Maybe I didn't.
I'd like to bring up one thing that I thought was interesting in our discussion. The traffic signal materials that we're purchasing, part of them are going to be sensors that will be going up on the overhead poles. So they'll be, we all know they are usually in the asphalt, you pull up and, you trigger the light. They'll be up above now so that when we're doing these pipe replacements and such and digging up the streets, we won't be hurting that connection where we're repairing it. So it'll be a more streamlined event, and it'll also bring the cost down for the bids that we'll be getting from these contractors, because they don't have to put that into part of the bidding process when we have these sensors out of the ground and up on the poles. So I thought that was interesting.
It was. That was actually a good point. Pat, anything?
Nothing.
All right, Mayor, that would be our report. Thank you.
I show no other reports. Under consent agenda, approval of minutes. It is recommended the minutes of the pre-council meeting held on March 3rd, 2025, and the council meeting held on March 4th, 2025 stand approved as recorded. Invoices to be paid. It is recommended this report be approved. Council memo number 184-25, award of contract for the 2025 Public Works Landscape Restoration Program to Allied Landscaping Corporation in the amount of $50,201. Council memo number 185-25, award of contract for the Lois Place Lift Station Rehabilitation Project to Aries Incorporated in the amount of $949,849, and amendment number 1 for construction engineering services to Trotter and Associates Incorporated in the amount of $94,950. Council memo number 186-25, award of contract for the 2025 traffic signal materials purchase, order number 1, to Traffic Control Corporation in the amount of $228,214. Council memo number 187-25, award of contract for the 2025 traffic signal materials purchase, order number 2, to Traffic Control Corporation in the amount of $72,735. Council memo number 188-25, award of contract extension for the 2023 through 2027 landscape maintenance services utilities program to Ramiro Guzman Landscaping in the amount of $133,877.71. Council Memo Number 189-25, award of contract for the 2025 pavement marking program to Superior Road Striping Incorporated in the amount of $286,532. Council Memo Number 190-25, award of professional services agreement for the purchase and installation of the audio system upgrade project at Joliet Slammer Stadium to Visua in the amount of $161,770.97. Council Memo Number 191-25, award of professional services agreement for the purchase and installation of the structural painting project at Joliet Slammer Stadium to Cosgrove Construction Incorporated in the amount of $277,250. Council Memo Number 192-25, award of professional services agreement for the purchase and installation of 4 7.5-ton rooftop units for Union Station to Anchor Mechanical Incorporated in the amount of $77,996. Council Memo Number 193-25, award of professional services agreement for the purchase and installation of the elevator modernization project at Union Station to American Hoist and Manlift Incorporated in the amount of $101,385. Council Memo Number 194-25, professional services agreement for safety consulting services to Sheffield Safety and Loss Control LLC in the amount of $485,675. Council Memo Number 195-25, professional services agreement for the meter asset management program to Core and Main LP in the amount of $469,727. Council Memo Number 196-25, purchase of ISCO flow metering equipment from Gasvoda and Associates Incorporated in the amount of $46,384. Council Memo Number 197-25, purchase of a tactical combat casualty care simulator from North American Rescue in the amount of $28,781.04. Council Memo Number 198-25, Amendment Number 2 for the Phase 1 engineering services for the Theodore Street over Rock Run Creek Improvement Project to Siorba Group, a deduction in the amount of $13,309.56, and payment request number 20 and final in the amount of $2,939.09. Council Memo Number 199-25, change order number 1 for the Spring Creek Phase 1 water main improvements project to Austin Tyler Construction Incorporated in the amount of $153,675.21. Council Memo Number 200-25, change order number 2 for the Collins Street water main improvements project to Austin Tyler Construction Incorporated for a decreased amount of $523,574.56 and pay estimate number 8 and final in the amount of $1,024,211.90. Council Memo Number 201-25, electric supply auction and authorization to select low bidder. It is recommended Council Memos Number 184-25 through 201-25 be approved. Is there a motion to approve all said consent agenda items?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? Thank you.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Agenda item. Council Memo Number 203-25, award of contract for Heggie Park Phase 1 water main improvements project to PT Farrow Construction Company in the amount of $7,895,977.38. It is recommended Council Memo Number 203-25 be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
Really quickly, so we've seen other water main improvement contracts come before us, usually in the range of $1 million, $2 million and up. Was there just a brief explanation of why this one in particular seems to be a little bit higher than the rest? Looking at the map, we do see that it crosses over with the Canadian National Rail line. I imagine that complicates things a bit. So Allison, if you could give us just an explanation of why this one in particular seems to be higher than normal.
Yeah, so when we prepare the water main contracts, we strategically have different sizes of projects. Some are smaller, as you mentioned, and some are larger. And that just speaks to the contractors we're trying to attract to to bid on these projects. We want to have a variety of them. As you said, for this one, there are some added complexities with the railroad. And we also have a portion of it that is in a currently wooded area that's going up a hill. So it's more challenging construction.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo Number 204-25, Amendment Number 1 to the Professional Services Agreement for the 2026 Water Main Rehabilitation Program for detailed design services to Baxter and Woodman Incorporated in the amount of $1,292,000. It is recommended Council Memo Number 204-25 be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments, questions? Thank you.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo Number 205-25, authorization to fund pre-development loan draw 11 to Riverwalk Homes LLC in the amount of $598,665.91. It is recommended Council Memo Number 205-25 be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Thank you.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
No.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Abstain, ethics.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Licenses and permit applications. Council Memo Number 207-25, a resolution to deny transfer of Class B liquor license at 926 Gardner Street, Tony Bar and Grill was previously removed from the agenda. Under public hearings, Council Memo Number 209-25, public hearing for the substantial amendment to Program Year 2024 Annual Action Plan, CDBG. This is a public hearing, so comments would be in order at this time. Is there anyone who would like to speak under the public hearing? Okay. Seeing none, let the record show the public hearing is now closed. Under ordinances, Council Memo Number 211-25, ordinances associated with Prairie Landing subdivision. This includes ordinance approving the preliminary planned unit development of Prairie Landing subdivision, PUD-12-24, ordinance approving the reclassification of 17.9 acres located at 2200 Essington Road from R4 multifamily residential and B3 general business to R2 single-family residential, zoning Z3-24. It is recommended that ordinances be adopted.
Before we move forward, I have a question for the attorney representing Horton. Steve, correct?
Correct.
It was pointed out that actually there was a larger piece, that something, a part of the piece that's in litigation is part of the plan. Did I get that correct?
So again, it's difficult for me to answer that clearly because Deer Horton is not involved. But based on what Ms. Lex said to me earlier this evening, just prior to this meeting, it's my understanding that she's concerned about some trees that I have not previously understood to be the subject of the adverse possession suit.
And so, if in fact a small portion of the adverse possession suit were to be in there, if she would have won, then you would be able to use that piece, correct?
Yes, correct.
But you could still go forward, just with, you might lose a house or two, whatever it is. You'd have to.
We'd have to, the area in question is not actually proposed to be platted as a lot or improved with a home. It is actually a portion of land area that's north of the main east-west roadway, lending access to the community. So theoretically, that could be accommodated without any impact on the plan, without any impact on the improvements to the plan.
Okay, thank you. One other thing, am I understanding, Beth?
Yes, sir.
This land is being purchased by from Westside Joliet Real Estate LLC.
Mhm.
Now, I think it's apparent to everybody, and if it's not, then I'm going to explain that Mayor Darcy has an interest in that, and that's why he's leaving the dais the last 2 days.
He does.
Who are the other people with interests in the Westside Joliet Real Estate LLC?
There's one managing partner other than the mayor, and his name is escaping me right now. It starts with a C. Dustin, what's his last name?
I'd prefer not to mispronounce it. If you'd let me look it up, I'd be happy to tell you.
Sure.
It's Bob Calzaretta.
Calzaretta. Bob Calzaretta.
Okay. No, and that's it, the mayor and Bob Calzaretta?
Yeah, he's the managing partner, and the mayor owns a less amount.
Okay. No other people are involved?
No other people.
Okay. With that, I'd make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, it's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy? Oh, sorry. Sorry. Motion carried. All right. Council Memo number 212-25, ordinances associated with the Rock Run Crossings Lot 1 re-subdivision. This includes an ordinance approving the preliminary plat of Rock Run Crossings Lot 1 re-subdivision, an ordinance approving the final plat of Rock Run Crossings Lot 1 re-subdivision, an ordinance approving the recording plat of Rock Run Crossings Lot 1 re-subdivision. It is recommended said ordinances be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? Thank you.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo number 213-25, ordinance repealing designation of Whitney Terrace subdivision as a local historic district. It is recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Do you want to explain anything again?
It's.
Second.
The ordinance is to repeal, so I vote repeals the designation.
Just to be clear for
Right.
everybody. Okay, thank you.
Any other comments or questions?
We heard from some of the residents yesterday who are in favor of repealing the designation. They gave explanations why. Councilwoman Quillman, you spoke on it also, that
It's too expensive.
yeah, we're not here to, remove the historic character of the neighborhood simply because we want to. It's out of concern for the residents and the increasing costs of maintenance and upkeep. So this was something that the residents themselves wanted, and nobody has spoken in opposition of it, not to my knowledge.
No, and it's not that they're going to, not take care of the home and not replicate things. It's just that you can't replicate exactly what, like wood and glass and certain clay things that you can't make anymore.
Right.
And that was all, but their homes are beautiful. So it's just not cost effective for homeowners to absolutely replicate everything. And not only that, because they said yesterday, the craftsmen aren't even there anymore to make those things.
Yeah, try to find a plaster artisan.
Yeah.
Not anymore. And if you do, and you fly them in from God knows where, it's gonna cost you an arm and a leg.
Even bricklayers, so
Yeah.
that's why.
Any other comments? I know all 6 of the residents have asked to do this, so it's pretty unanimous on their side. Thank you.
Okay, it's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Todd.
Council Memo number 214-25, ordinance authorizing an amendment to the annual budget of the City of Joliet for the 2025 fiscal year, 2024 projects funded in 2025. It is recommended said ordinance be adopted.
Mayor, And I'm sure that Kevin will back me up on this. I just wanted to say again, for those that didn't see yesterday's meeting, this is not new projects. This is not in addition to the budget that was approved in November. This is a housekeeping item that's required because the project wasn't finished in '24. The project is being allowed to be finished in '25, but then technically we have to move the money from 2024's budget to '25. So I want people watching to understand that this isn't new money, new project.
Thank you.
And I would make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any other comments? Thank you.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Mudron?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council memo number 215-25, ordinance authorizing the city of Joliet to borrow funds from the IEPA Public Water Supply Loan Program for Joliet Water Systems improvements required for implementation of the Alternative Water Source Program. It is recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments, questions? Thank you.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Mudron?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Under resolutions, Council Memo Number 217-25, resolution accepting the $1,900,000 legislative pass-through from the state of Illinois to fund the Community Mental Health Program. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? I'd like to make a comment, and I really would like to, as Beth mentioned yesterday, thank Leader Natalie Manley for providing this. She saw the program, the ThriveWorks program that our fire department put together, and so wholeheartedly believed in it that she wanted to make this a countywide effort and include Joliet in this. So that $1.9 million is really going to do a lot of good to help our community. So thank you, Natalie.
Can I say something?
Sure.
There's literally not a week that goes by that we are not using the community cares program and having them connect us with the mental health program. So I can't thank you enough. You guys have saved a lot of lives. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Mudron?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo Number 218-25, resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an agreement for the lease of a city-owned parcel at the southeast corner of I-55 and Caton Farm Road for farming. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? Thank you.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Mudron?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo Number 219-25, resolution granting easements to the Illinois Department of Transportation for the I-80 Ridge Road to US Route 30 Improvement Project. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? Thank you.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Mudron?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
I vote aye, but I have to chuckle a little bit that we get things passed real quick for IDOT, but we have to wait forever for to fix our bridges. Aye.
Mayor Darcy? Motion carried. Council Memo Number 220-25, resolution granting easements to the Illinois Department of Transportation for the I-80 Des Plaines River Bridge Replacement Project. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
Motion
moved.
approved. Second.
Any comments? Thank you.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Mudron?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo Number 221-25, Resolution authorizing acquisition of real estate from Larkin Professional Center LLC for the Lowest Place Lift Station Rehabilitation Project in the amount of $22,500. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? Thank you.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Navarro?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council memo number 222-25, resolution appropriating motor fuel tax funds for the 2025 pavement marking program. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? Thank you.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Navarro?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council memo number 223-25, resolution accepting Illinois Environmental Protection Agency low-interest loan L176076 for the 2025 water main replacement program. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved. Second.
Any comments or questions?
Did you just move that second?
Thank you.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Navarro?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council memo number 224-25, resolution accepting Illinois Environmental Protection Agency low-interest loan L176079 for the 2025 lead water service line replacement program. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? Thank you.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Navarro?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council memo number 222-25, resolution declaring certain City of Joliet property as surplus. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? Thank you.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye. Sorry.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Navarro?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next, we have the city manager's report.
So construction's begun again downtown, and I'm sure everyone's wondering what is happening under the tent. Inside the tented area, the footings for both water feature planters, the southernmost shade structure, and the tiered seating area have been excavated and concrete has been placed. We have begun installation of street light foundations along both sides of Chicago Street. Excavation for planter areas along the Chicago Street corridor has also begun. Also along Chicago Street, ComEd crews continue to work on subsurface elements of the vaults between Jefferson and Cass Streets. I'll provide more updates as they become available. We continue to thank everyone for their patience during construction and continue encouraging our residents to support the downtown businesses. Moving on to events. On March 6th, I and a few other working women from the city, along with Councilwoman Quillman, attended the Council for Working Women luncheon celebrating Women's History Month at Jacob Henry Mansion. A good time was had by all. We are fortunate to have many hardworking and dedicated female employees, and I want to thank all of them for their contributions. That concludes my report.
Question, Beth. Can you put these pictures up on our website so people can see what's going on under that tent? Yeah. Okay.
Maybe we should start like something on Facebook, what's happening under the tent, and take like pictures
I
every
love
week or
that.
something.
I like that.
Can you guess?
Okay. Next is public comments. Is there anyone who would like to address the council this evening? This is just general public comments addressing the council.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of City Council, and City staff. I'm here tonight to start a discussion amongst the council and the voters of Joliet. I want to talk about term limits. There seems to be a tidal wave going across America to put term limits on elected officials. The number one issue with overwhelming support among the American people across all political parties lines is term limits. I did a poll about 5 weeks ago and received over 300 responses and about term limits, and 90.3% were in favor of term limits. Concentrating on our local elections, of the 3 at-large seats of City Council now is the time to vote for candidates that endorse the concept of term limits. There are 7 candidates that are currently running for the 3 seats at large. The voters of Joliet need to have them commit to putting in term limits for the council seats or chance not getting elected on April 1st. That would be 3 of the 5 members that are needed to pass a city ordinance. Remember, the direct district council members 1 through 5 are up for re-election 2 years along with the mayor's position. The Illinois state statute states that the current members and the ones elected on April 1st are not affected by the passing of the new ordinance. This ordinance, if passed, would only affect the ones elected after the new ordinance is passed. As one of the current council members put it when he ran for city council, he said, quote, "Call me old-fashioned, but I believe that running for election is a call to civic duty," unquote. He also stated, "I, for one, am tired of career politicians of any level. Councilman Hug, I support your position 100%. The time is now to make it happen. I will discuss the 3 options at a future council meetings or at the legislative committee meeting if the mayor and city council get on board. It's a very simple process. Currently, 9 out of 10 of the largest cities in the United States have term limits. Joliet is the 3rd largest city in the state of Illinois. In a short time frame, these cities that I had found in Illinois have term limits as follows: Naperville, Calumet City, Linwood, Orland Park, Rolling Meadows, Kearney, all passed with a rather large majority. I'm sure that there are more. If presented to the voters, I would wager that it would pass 2-1, just like the voters did for the mayor election. Voters want change. Their elected officials to listen to what they're saying. And let me read that again. Voters want change and want their elected officials to listen to what they're saying. I'll be back to the City Council in future meetings to present some more factual information on term limits. I would also like to talk about the city ethics ordinance. We would like to see some language changes to section 2-340, disclosure of interest statements. That council members that receive political contributions from corporations and unions list those donations and follow language of that section. The majority of people feel your vote is bought and paid for by these donations, right, wrong, or indifferent. The only way to make sure that it doesn't happen and the appearance that the vote for the corporation project was paid for vote is to abstain from that vote. You cannot use the argument you need corporate money to get elected. Councilwoman Susan Abar and Senator Rachel Ventura both were successful with the old-fashioned knock on the door and grassroots type of campaigning. Matter of fact, unions spent close to $750,000 and tried to beat Senator Ventura in 2 different elections, and they failed. She accepts no corporate donations to avoid the appearance of a paid vote. In summary, in the future I will be sharing additional information on term limits to the council and the public on how this can work in other cities and states. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Trista Brown. I am really coming to you to speak on, I know that there was you let me know there was a grant that was presented for the south side of District 5 or for Chicago Street. No offense to anyone, but the hardest part for me that I try to keep alive is our ancestry, our legacy on the south side of Joliet. Though there's no black representation there, not that you don't concern what we think about, but I'm thinking to myself, why on the south side of Chicago Street we talk about having a grant, but yet we don't go further to think about the real Chicago Street? I don't see any banners. I don't see anything that shows that there's Afro-American, that blood, sweat, and tears played into the championship of Joliet. What I do want to see is some of those dollars, keeping legacy alive, keeping my children alive. Let them see that we have a park in Joliet. I would love to see banners going down Chicago Street. I would love to see Sidney Edwards, Ray Bolden, Catherine Bolden, Margaret Graves. When they come through here and my kids come through and their kids come through here, they need to see South Chicago Street, not just the plain Chicago Street going into a courthouse, but when they come in here, it's a city of champions made up of blood, sweat, and tears. So I say, I believe, and I grant that you guys, you know, are there, but we do need more representation on the council board. And I think you can agree with me that our legacy is getting lost. Our homes are getting lost. Chicago Street, Water Street, they were blood, sweat, and tears, and their homes are gone. So the things that I do ask of you is please show me what I need to do. I'll do it on my own. I'll raise all the money before I die. I want to see legacy come into Joliet. I want to see Brandy there. I want to see the things that plant a seed in Joliet to not to be knocked down. So I thank you for just participating in Black History Month. That's because it's Black History, because we black all day long. But I say we need more representation on your council board. You can't tell me how I feel because you're not me. But I can share, and you respectfully acknowledge that the fact that we need to see things that look like us. And that's all I ask you. Thank you.
Good evening. How y'all doing, Mr. Mayor and esteemed panel? I was up here about this, the grant. How do you register for it for the nonprofits by the 25th?
It's actually on the 26th.
So
We can get your flyer.
the 26th is when we'll be hosting our workshop. It'll be here in the council chambers from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. But just to be clear, that's not the time that you'd be applying. This is just to get to know how the process works.
Yes.
And then that process will open on March 31st. If you want to speak more to Jackie, who's sitting in the back there afterwards.
All right. And to piggyback off what Crystal just said, Ms. Brown, it's Mr. Morris, Mr. Wilson, Ms. Liddy, Donna Jean. They've made significant contributions to that area, and they're no longer remembered.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council. I'm on board with John Sheridan with term limits. I've been speaking with him, I've been doing some research, and I found out that most cities with term limits runs better. It gives younger people more of an opportunity to get in one of these seats. And we need people with fresh ideas, people that looking to better the city, and also 87% of the people that get a chance to vote on term limit, vote for term limit. So apparently it makes a difference. So I would like to know, how do we go about getting term limit on the ballot so the people can get what they want? Because too many times I've been here. I got out of politics. I haven't been here since you've been here, but I used to be here all the time talking about minorities, participation, and black and brown people that lives in Joliet. We spend millions and millions of dollars in taxes and in buying cars and different things in Joliet. But as Trista Brown said, we have no representation right now. I came down 2 or 3 times to speak to the city manager. They kept blowing me off because I'm not important enough to get my voice heard. So we need to make some changes. If we start a term limit, we'll be able to talk to the city manager, because maybe the next mayor, councilman get in here, they might get a city manager that will talk to all the people. So I'm here participating for term limits. And I would like to know, how do we go about getting it on the ballot? Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening, members of the City Council and those in attendance. My name is Brian Bettenhausen. I stand before you tonight, not because I want to, but because I have to. Because my basic human right to access water has been denied. It's been taken from me. intentionally and without care for consequences. I've been asking for help most of my life, only to have doors shut in my face as I've watched as backs have been turned on me again and again. As if my struggles, my survival don't matter. And now everything I've endured, the city has gone a step further, not just denying me assistance, but physically obstructing the access to water by placing a concrete block above my water valve. This isn't just an inconvenience, this is survival. Water is life. Without it, the body fails, the mind fractures, hope erodes. And for someone like me who has battled with the weight of despair since childhood, this feels less like neglect and more like encouragement. Encouragement to give up, to stop fighting, to stop trying. I want you to hear me when I say this. This is not just about me. This is about the dignity and humanity of every person in this city who is struggling, who is unheard, who is fighting to survive in a system that seems designed to push them down. You have a responsibility, not just as city officials, but as human beings, to do what is right, to endure that access to water is never used as leverage, punishment, or control, to recognize that shutting someone out, cutting them off, and blocking their ability to survive is not governance, it's cruelty. I'm asking that my access to water be restored immediately, not in a week, not after more paperwork, not after more excuses, tonight, because this isn't just policy, this is my life. Thank you, and have a nice night.
Thank you.
Beth, can we help this man? Know the address or anything?
I have a question directly to Mr. Mayor. Are you involved with the West Side Joliet real estate or whatever?
PLC.
What's that?
So your comments can't be, it's the first lineup here. Speakers should try to address all comments of the council as a whole and not any member thereof. We'll maybe try to grab them after.
I can meet you after the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Because somebody has to explain if you.
We just need to keep decorum, so.
You suing me. You suing me.
Okay, Mayor, I just asked Beth, can we get some type of help from Mr. Bettenhausen?
Yeah, well, I was handling.
I know, you were
So
around
just
it.
1 second.
It's okay.
And I'll
Just
get
as long
somebody
as
over
you stay-
there.
I don't have to leave.
Yeah.
We need to help them.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I'm Dr. Glenda Wright McCollum, and I am standing in agreement with Mr. Sheridan in terms of term limits on councils. And I would say that because I am a candidate running for City Council at large, that it will affect me as well if these term limits are put in place. I want to remind the council that councils were created to ensure that local residents have a voice in the decisions that affect their daily lives. They were created to provide a system of local governance that allows communities to make decisions about their own needs, where every decision that is made, not most decisions, but where every decision is made with the people in mind. There's a scripture in 1 Samuel chapter 8 where the children of Israel were asking God for a king. And God did not want to give them a king, but he said, obey the voice of the people in all that they say. What he was saying to them is, give the people what they want. And so I will appeal to you today that we would remind ourselves that the reason that we sit on these councils and the reason that we have been elected, or that you have been elected to represent the people, that we would hear the voice of the people and adhere to the needs and the desires and the decisions that they are saying that they want to see take place. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
My question, I guess my statement is about garbage collection. Every week, we have the garbage man come before 7:30. Sometimes he'll come at 5:45. Sometimes he'll come at 6:30. When we ask him why, he's very rude. He'll throw our trash can around. He might not even pick up our trash. And when I call the city to find out how do I get them to come back out, nobody knows. You need to call Waste Management. I call Waste Management. I can't get anyone. If I do get someone, they still don't come back out and pick up my trash. Like, this is an issue. How do we take care of that? How do I just get a pleasant garbage man? I mean, that would be nice. You know, if I miss my trash, that's one thing. But if they miss my trash because they come before the contract time that is set by the city, I think that should be another thing, and I think that someone should care about that.
If you could just share, I'll come by you. If you could share your name and address, then I can look into it for you.
Mayor, Beth, I have noticed that there's supposed to be certain times, and in the summertime, they come earlier because of the heat. But I did notice, as this young lady, they're coming like early now sometimes, just to get the job done, I guess. And they are 5:30, she's right.
We'll address
neighborhood sets it out the night before.
I'm sorry?
My neighborhood sets it out the night before.
Yeah, we do too.
Yeah, but it's the pickup at the front of the
Because
street.
they come so early.
Yeah. Okay, I'll look into it with Waste Management.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the council this evening? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to mayor and council comments.
Thank you, Mayor. Beth, I know it's a little, and Greg, I know it's a little premature. I guess we'll be talking in the next couple weeks about some parking issues next week.
Yes, sir. At the next, we'll be talking about it with you prior to the next city council meeting.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's great news.
Yep.
I know that, I'm gonna knock on wood, no more snow, right? I wanna just make sure that we're gonna take care of these entryways and weeds that are gonna be starting to pop up when the weather changes here, so that was just, on my list. Be careful of our men and women out there, that are filling the holes with the, asphalt hot boxes. If you can be careful with them, they're filling the potholes. And I wanna thank the, Joliet Police Department and the Joliet Fire Department, Pipes and Drums. They went out this entire weekend promoting the city of Joliet, and they were phenomenal. They were all over the city all weekend. They even went down west to Morris. So I just want to thank those guys and women so much for entertaining the citizens of Joliet. So that's it. Thank you.
Begin with just a bit of old business, just for the sake of clarity. Council Memo 20925, we held a public hearing, did not require a vote. City manager could give an explanation just why, for any of our eagle-eyed watchers at home that might have caught that, why it was brought up, but no action was required.
Sure. So this public hearing is required under HUD guidelines. So that was the opportunity that we posted for under OMA for anyone interested in talking about that. That was their allotted time, and we didn't see unfortunately anyone come to talk about it, but it did not require a vote. It was a public hearing. It was time for the council to hear anyone concerned about the issue.
Okay. Just wanted to get that point of clarity across. And then if you would all join me in taking a moment to observe and express our condolences to the Alvarado family. Some of us might have heard the news of really untimely loss of 6-year-old Jason Alvarado. without getting too much into the details, there's a vehicular crash. And so, it's really tragic anytime we lose a community member that young. So if you would all join me in a brief moment of silence for the Alvarado family. Thank you.
Just briefly, I thought about this earlier in the meeting. Every once in a while, I like to do this. For those people who may be new to watching the meeting, either in person or on television, or if they've been watching it and only been watching the Tuesday night meetings and aren't aware, we have the day before every council meeting, Tuesday meeting, Monday prior to that, the day before, is the pre-council. Some communities refer to it as a workshop session, and that's what it is. So if you see on the Tuesday meetings when you watch us that there's not a lot of discussion going on, if you really want to see the meat of the discussion, it happens on Monday. So I just want to remind people of that, because usually the discussion continues on Tuesday if there's unanswered questions or something pops into somebody's head up here. But most of the discussion of the agenda items are done at the pre-council, which is the workshop the day before the council meeting. Other than that, I hope everybody had a great St. Patrick's Day, now that you've taken off your green and you've rehabbed over the last several days. Tomorrow is the Feast of St. Joseph's, so that's an Italian St. Patrick's Day, if you will. So put on your red and celebrate the Feast of St. Joseph's. That's all I have.
So I will be celebrating because the Ancestry DNA says I'm 56% Italian. Thank you for that. I just wanted to say that we do have a rock star here on staff. And people know I love to get on that phone and I call the mayor and I call the city managers, and when I can't get anyone, there is one person who always answers the phone every time, and she has been my little point guard. She has not failed to solve one issue. She is just amazing. So I want to thank Lauren O'Hara for everything that she does for me. She does not fail on the weekends and nights, early mornings. She has never not gotten an answer for anything I needed. So I really want to tell you how much I appreciate you. You are an absolute rock star here. Thank you. And everyone else is busy in meetings, and they do call me back. The mayor is very good about it. City managers are amazing. But when I'm on it, I'm like, just repeat dialing people. Let me get them now. So I want to thank Lauren for everything, and also the mayor and the city managers. Just amazing. And I guess I wanted to say that I agree with what everyone says. I definitely agree on term limits, and I completely agree with bringing back that Black history. That's exactly why Trista's having a stakeholder meeting with the consultants that are doing that grant to talk about what her community wants to see, what she wants to see. And so we definitely listen. We definitely listen. She has some amazing ideas about what she'd like to see, and they're on board for listening. And the biggest part of that is then implementing it, right? So thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
You're not gonna give it? Okay. Pat and I, we attended the JCA, the wrestling team. They came in third place in IHSA, boys-based wrestling team, and we were there to congratulate them. But however, the coach's daughter, Grace Lard, she was one of the first women wrestlers, and she came in third place. And we were also very proud of her. So I was wondering, Mayor, if we couldn't just bring her in, because wrestling for women is just unheard of, the real deal, you know. And her name is Grace Laird, and I want to say congratulations to her. And that's been pretty busy with everything else. That was it for visiting.
I would just like to bring up that the CERT registration is still on our webpage if you go to joliet.gov, which is the Community Emergency Response Team. It's just a group of regular people like all of us that get trained in case of an emergency to help each other and our neighbors. I am registered, and I'm going to start my 3-hour program next week, and I'm looking forward to it. I would like to congratulate our Patrick Schumacher on his promotion to sergeant. He looks great in white.
Hey, Pat.
I went with Patrick that time. Did you see that? And Lauren, had I known, I keep reaching left, I'm going right next time. And that's all I have.
Thank you. You know, I really want to thank all the residents that come up and give us their ideas. Trista, John, everybody that comes up gives us something to work with. And what we do is react to it. I mean, Trista, you left last time, we talked about your voice brought a lot more security to that riverfront that has been a problem for a long time. So we do want to act on what you bring to us, and we really appreciate the effort it takes for you to come in here and bring those thoughts to us, and really we act on them. So thank you so much for that. A couple things. On Monday, I attended the Great Teachers Banquets sponsored by the Chamber at the Jacob Henry Mansion. It was an annual event that recognizes educators in the Will County grade schools. Teachers are nominated by a peer in their school, and then nominees are sent to the principal. The final decisions are made by the Chamber Committee, and congratulations to all the winners. Those teachers just, they have a heart for what they do. It's not about the dollars, it's about the help they can give. And a lot of retired teachers are there, and it's so cool to watch. My whole family, all my moms, my aunts, my sisters, my daughter-in-law are all teachers, so I have to watch what I say. I can't say ain't ever. I also was able to speak in front of the Rotary Club last week, and it was just kind of a rundown of what we're going to do for the State of the City. Right now, we are scheduling State of the City for the first time in my second year, probably the end of May. We're trying to lock up a date with the Chamber for that. It was well attended. The Rotary was much appreciative of the chance for me to get out and start talking about some of the things we're doing for the city. Also then Saturday, I attended the second annual K9 for Veterans Gala along with Councilman Cardenas. This is truly a wonderful cause. They rescue dogs and match them up with PTSD veterans. I can't think of a better thing to do for both of those. The dog is rescued and the PTSD veteran is helped immensely. There are 22 veterans a day that take their lives because of PTSD. These K9s for Veterans have given over 200 dogs to date in the 10 years. They don't charge anybody for anything. And not only that, but they pay for the food and the veterinary bills for the life of the dog. So we are committed to helping them. And if anybody else would like to pitch in to help Mike Tellerino and his team, 708-990-0460. One of the greatest causes I've seen. So we're really grateful for what they do and glad to be able to help them. Last but not least, Cesar Cardenas is not here tonight. He is accepting the Marks Gibson Community Leadership Award at the Leadership School graduation banquet tonight at Jacob Henry Mansion. The Marks Gibson Community Leadership Award was developed in 2000 to honor a true servant leader. So congratulations to Cesar for that recognition from the University of St. Francis and the Chamber. That's all I have. God bless you, and thank you all for coming out.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nay? Opposed?